Welcome to this episode of the Sports Detective Podcast Show. My name is James Williams, and today I am here to tell you that a fourth MVP for Nikola Jokic is inevitable. What are we talking about? Well, the narrative coming into this basketball season was, Nikola Jokic, we know he's the best player on the planet. We know he's an all-time great, but if you're talking about MVP, Nikola Jokic winning 4 out of 5 years would be there's no way Jokic can do that. There's going to be voter fatigue. We're going to look at him. We're going to be like, well, the last person to do that was LeBron James, and Jokic is no LeBron. And basically, we're saying like, hey, like he wins a fourth MVP, like that's putting him on a whole other level. And if he just comes out and he has like a regular, just like awesome Jokic season, there is a lot of other candidates. Like, what if Jason Tatum wins 68 games and is averaging 30 points a game? Same thing with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and they're the 1 seed in the West by far. What if Luka Doncic is able to have a 50-plus win season, put up crazy numbers, and have like a top 2 or 3 seed in the West? Well, it's getting to the point here where some of that stuff might still happen for all of those other guys. But the thing that I don't think anyone was expecting was Nikola Jokic to take his game up to another level. I'm going to show you guys some crazy stats here. So this first one here that I'm going to show you is it's just a tweet, but it's from Basketball Reference, which is the a basketball site that I used to look up a lot of data. And they have like this thing that's called like an MVP like percentage. And 10 games through the season, Nikola Jokic has a 90.6% chance to win MVP. 90.6% chance. It's usually like I think it's usually when Jokic has like pretty easily won MVP, it's like in the 60s. I think that's usually what it's like. It's like in the 60s, and like, maybe even sometimes there's more of like a split vote where it's like maybe some guys got like 45 and it's divided up by a bunch of people. I think the second closest person is like Jason Tatum, like with like 3% on this. I got more for you though. Why is he that high? Well, this is why. This is Jokic's last 10 games in this season. I believe it goes, this is the bottom here. He was 16, 12, 13. After that, 41 points, 9 rebounds. After that, 40 points, 10 rebounds, and 67% shooting percentage. After that, 29, 18, and 16. 26, 9, and 13. 27, 16, and 9. This is where we start getting really crazy. 28, 14, and 13. 23, 20, and 16. 30 points, 14 rebounds on 85% shooting percentage. And then his last game, 37, 18, and 15. This is absolutely berserk. This is video game numbers. I got more for you though. Because here's the thing too. There's always this like narrative with Jokic where it's like, oh, he's like a stat patter. He's trying to inflate his stats. The thing about Jokic too that I think people miss about him, he is incredibly efficient. He's incredibly efficient with his passing, and he's also incredibly efficient with his scoring. He does not force himself to score. And this is a kind of like some other stats. Let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and show you this. He is currently, this is from ESPN. Nikola Jokic is on pace to break his own player efficiency rating record this season. He's got 33.51. And you can see all the other guys that are like below him in the league currently. 33.51. That is absolutely insane. But let's go ahead and let's compare this Jokic season to the last 5 Jokic seasons, because this is where it's kind of really eye-popping what he is doing so far this season. So you compare him to the last 5 years. These are rounded up. I'll kind of correct some of the errors. So this one here, first year he wins the MVP. He's got 26, 11, and 8, 65% true shooting percentage. The next year wins MVP again, 27, 14, 8, 66% true shooting percentage. The year he lost the MVP to Embiid, I actually thought this year was his best year prior to this year. Now you see here, it's 25, 12, and 10. It's actually like 9.7. That's the assists that he had that year. So that's to the point here where it's like, hey, he could have easily stat padded and gotten 9.7 to 10.0, but if you follow, this is how you can tell your difference between your casuals and the people that actually follow the sport. Jokic doesn't care about that stuff. He doesn't care about MVPs. He just cares about playing basketball and trying to win games. Then last year, he was 26, 12, and 9, 65% true shooting percentage, one MVP. And then this year, he is at 30 points per game, 14 rebounds, 12 assists, and still shooting incredibly efficiently at 67% true shooting percentage. Okay, this will be the last thing that I'll show you guys here, because this is it's just every stat you read about him is just absolutely absurd. So let's go ahead and I'll show you this one now. Okay, stat muse here. Nikola Jokic is top 3 in points, rebounds, assists, offensive rebounds, double doubles, triple doubles, post up points, putback points, touches, second paint chance points, points in the paint, total passes, points from assists, and potential assists. Guys, it's overwhelming. This dude's went up a level. And the thing is, too, with him going up a level, he's not going up a level because, like, oh, I want to just put up like crazy numbers and, I want to get my 4th MVP. That's not how he thinks. If you watch the Nuggets early on in this season, it was like, oh my God, Jokic doesn't have enough help. They're relying on these young guys. They desperately miss KCP for his 3-point shooting and his defense. Michael Malone said, like, post game after like the first game, it's like, hey, it kind of sucks KCP's not here. All of these young guys looked like the moment was too big for them. Jamal Murray looks like he was declining, and it was kind of like a situation here where it was like, oh boy, this does not spell well for Denver. I did a video about it, and then we also like later found out information like after I did the video, like maybe a week later, that Aaron Gordon's going to be out for a significant chunk of time, and it was kind of like, oh my God, this Nugget situation just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And you know what Nikola Jokic did? He was like, okay, my team needs me to do more. I will do more. And he was like, I will get 16 plus rebounds a game if I need to. I will get 16 assists if I need to. I will score 40 if I need to. I will take whatever the defense is giving me. If they're going to leave me on single coverage, I will roast anyone that is guarding me. If they're going to double me, that's exactly what I want, because then I get to hit cutters. I get to hit people for open threes. I get to create all of the space if you double me. That is what Nikola Jokic wants you to do. You do not double him because that's what he wants. He is absolutely incredible. And I also thought, too, a reason that I thought, hey, this might be, and I still think this is something that can hurt them come postseason time, is the fact that they don't have that much good shooters on their team. And the fact that if you look at their shooting percentage and their attempts and their makes per game, it's at the dead bottom of the NBA comparatively to like a team like the Boston Celtics that like shoot like over 50% of their shots are 3-pointers, and they're at the top of the league with that. And they're also the reigning NBA champions. But it seems like Nikola Jokic, the 3 ball does not affect Jokic. The lack of threes for this Nuggets team does not affect them as much as you would think, like other teams. Like that's like kind of like the thing with like the Lakers was like JJ Redick comes in, he's like, hey, I'm going to do math here. And it's kind of like he's gotten to the point here where it's like, oh, it's kind of hard to do the math when you don't have the guys that can actually shoot and make those threes, right? And that's kind of why I thought was the problem with Denver. I'm like, hey, they're just not going to, it's like, all right, like Michael Porter's your best shooter. Good luck. Good luck with that. And it doesn't matter because Nikola Jokic is an all-time great player. We're at the point here, guys, where we talk about, I think Shaq said this once, where it's like the Hall of Fame, there's different rooms to it, right? There's the room that like Vince Carter's in. There's like the room that like Dwayne Wade's in. And there's also, I mean, there's probably a lot of rooms, but there's also another room that not many people can get into, where there's Michael Jordan, where there's LeBron, where there's Wilt Chamberlain, where there's Oscar Robertson, where there's Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kobe. I think Steph Curry's earned his way in there now. And I think Nikola Jokic is in there now. There's other names too. I'm not saying that's like my list or anything. That's just off the top of my head. Nikola Jokic is a top 10 player all time. It's happening. You cannot count him out. You cannot say, hey, well, they don't have the stuff around him, so Denver's going to be in the play-in. He's still in his prime. This is one of the best 5-year runs in NBA history. The 2020s are going to be the Nikola Jokic decade. And if he keeps this up, now that's a big question here with the MVP. Can he keep this up? Can he keep this up, keep performing, keep averaging like a 28? Let's say it's 28, 14, and 11. Can he keep that up for an entire year? That's a lot to ask. And for them to still win like 50 games or high 40s games. But if he does that, he's winning MVP. With that being said, though, I still stand with my original stance that I don't think Denver has done enough around him. I still think not re-signing KCP was a bad idea. I understand letting go of Bruce Brown because that money was crazy. I understand letting go of Jeff Green because he's old. But I still think they should have done more around this team other than just adding Russell Westbrook, who's had some good moments, has also had some bad moments, but has had some good moments with Denver. So I think Nikola Jokic, I didn't think it was possible for him to win 4 and 5, but it's very possible. And he's the favorite through the first like eighth of the season. We'll see if he keeps it up. This dude's an all-time great. And we got to start saying that every time we talk about him now, because I don't think we talk about that enough. All right. That's going to do it for this episode here today. If you liked what you saw here today, please hit that subscribe button. That is the number one thing that you can do to help support the show. It costs you absolutely $0, and it helps small channels like this grow and more people can see our videos. If you have a comment about the show, maybe something you like, something you disagree with, something you agree with, please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you like this video, please hit that like button too. That is also a good way to tell that people actually like me talking about Nikola Jokic like this. And feel free to check out other videos on our Sports Detective Podcast channel page. And thank you very much for watching. We'll talk to you next time.